Hello everybody, good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Whenever you're watching this video, hopefully you all are doing well. And today's topic we are going to be talking about are some fall and wintertime scents, specifically from the house of Parfums de Marly. So I got 5 fragrances over here that are best suited for the fall and wintertime from the house. And I do have some caveats with this. I haven't tried out every scent from the house of Parfums de Marly, like Cologne and Habdan. Those are 2 I want to check out, but I have not yet. And then there are a few I have checked out. I just do not have a full bottle of it yet. I just recently kind of got samples, been testing it. And the scent I am really talking about is Herod. Definitely full bottle worthy. And it probably would have made this list if I did have a full bottle, but I just do not currently at the moment. But when I'm thinking about fall and wintertime, I really relate it to Parfums de Marly. A lot of stunners from the house. Excellent fragrances. Like, don't get me wrong, I really enjoy their summer and springtime scents. Like, Percival is one of my go-to freshies during that time of year. But when I think about fall and wintertime, I have a lot to choose from. And I had to break it down to these 5 here. And this video has been a long time coming. I've really been wanting to make this. Parfums de Marly is one of my favorite niche houses, probably top 3 for me personally. So really been wanting to make this video. And I got some tester strips over here as well, just kind of go through the talking process, talk about the opening with these scents here. And I got that honorable mention as well. Didn't want to leave this one out. Had to sneak that one in for you all. If you want to check out more fragrance content, make sure to check out the rest of my channel after you get done watching this video. And then also, if you're trying to get your fitness on track, make sure to check out those videos as well. I got you covered. Want all of you to live a healthier lifestyle for sure and get educated on the fitness, okay? Now, let's hop into this Parfums de Marly video. The honorable mention. All right, we're going to get started with that one. It is Carlisle here. So Carlisle just missing out on the top 5 here. There's the bottle, kind of all blacked out. It says Carlisle on the front. Give it a little spray. Why not? And this fragrance here is going to be very heavy on the patchouli, on the vanilla. Overall, there's a good spray there. Had a little weak spray at the start. And hefty caps on all the Parfums de Marly's here. And I really enjoy the colors, how they kind of color oriented. And it looks nice in my collection for sure. But I'm going to give this a whiff here. And man, this just gets better and better when I'm smelling it. I had this in a previous video and I was talking about it. And I was like, man, I haven't worn this for a while when I was making it. And I wanted to wear it. And I was like, man, now I know why I really enjoy this. And I couldn't give it all the benefit I wanted to because this is one of my first niche releases. And I would say out of all the Parfums de Marly fragrances I've tried, this is probably, for somebody brand new in the fragrances, difficult for them to get into if they try this one out first. So I would not recommend getting Carlisle first, but for somebody that's now smelled more and more fragrances, this is great, fantastic, and I cannot recommend it enough for this time of year. Balsamic, woody, gotta like your warm spices. Kind of earthy as well, but like I mentioned, it's very patchouli forward, so if you do not like that vibe, then you're probably not gonna vibe with this as much. And then also too, it does got that vanilla to give it a little sweetness, but overall I would say this is not something, this is gonna be something that's going to be more on that earthy patchouli side of things instead of the sweetness, succulently sweet type of fragrances here. And you do get a little fruitiness with this fragrance and a little sweetness, but like I said, this is more dominant by that patchouli, the vanilla, and overall this one is definitely worthy on being, you know, this is some people's top 5. This is a fragrance that a lot of people in the FragCom really enjoy, and I understand why. So Carlisle start off our list here on the honorable mention. We'll move that here, move the bottle over here. Now we're getting into the official top 5 here. This is going to be in no particular order when I'm making this, so I'm just going to grab one and we're going to be talking about it. But the one I wanted to talk about first, and it's right next to me, and going from something that's very reined back on the sweetness to something that's very sweet. And this one is very addicting as well, I should say. And it is this one, Altair from the house. And man, this one is just, you gotta like your sweet scents. You gotta like it. But vanilla and sweetness overload. It does have some freshness at the top with some of that orange blossom and a little bergamot, but you get mainly the orange blossom in that opening. But this one, a lot of people did not like it at first. When this first came out, people were like, oh, I don't know about it, blah, 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 you know. But from first sniff, this was a love for me. Man, whew. Give it another one. And this has some facets of being too sweet for people, I understand, but not for me. This one is very appealing, especially with that fresh opening. But this one's got a little praline in it as well. Like I mentioned, orange blossom and some caramel. This has got some caramel in it. Vanilla overload, bourbon vanilla in the mid here. And that gives it a little boozy aspect. But as this fragrance dries down from that opening, you are going to get more of that sweetness coming out, but you do get a little boozy feel because of that bourbon vanilla, and that freshness is going to be reined back, and it's going to be all about the sweet notes in here. And you got to like your cinnamon, a little aromatic, also too vanilla dominant, sweet and vanilla, I'd say are the two main accords here, but you do get some citrus, like I mentioned in that opening. You do get some amber, some cinnamon in this one. And overall, it kind of follows the trend of what's popular with men's fragrances right now, that vanilla. But this one is probably one of the top ones, in my opinion, for how this vanilla is used and how this fragrance comes across. So, and it's a pretty hype beast. You see a lot of people talking about it. I forgot to mention, too, even with Carlisle, both of these fragrances here are gonna last, and they are gonna project as well, make a lasting impression here. Definitely complement polars in their own right in different ways. But if you want to make a statement, though, Carlisle and Altair are going to be good choices for you during this fall and winter time. So first one on the official list, Altair. And like I mentioned, no particular order on these. Let's put that back over. So put this over there. Let's grab another handy dandy tester. And the next one I want to talk about is the one that I kind of feel like a lot of people forget. I don't hear this one mentioned much, but when they do mention it, they're like, oh my gosh, that is so great and everything like that, which is kind of funny. This one kind of falls on the back burner for a lot of people, but this one's definitely in my top 5 here for this time of year. And it is Ojon, and I have the new bottle here. I don't have the gold cap, but there's Ojon. It's kind of black. It just says Ojon on the front. It's kind of similar to the Carlisle here. This one here is going to remind some people of Angel Share, but in my opinion, this one's going to be more of the cinnamon focused in the family, I guess you could say. So Angel Share is going to be more of that boozy, sweet. This one is going to be more of a amber, warm spice focused in the family here. So let's give it a whiff. I always like Parfums de Marly's atomizers. There's nothing crazy, but they do the job, so. But yeah, very heavy on the cinnamon here. Let's focus on the sweetness. And overall, another fragrance that is going to project. It's going to get you noticed. And it's going to last. And overall, Ojon, when I smelled it, I was blown away, because I did smell Angel Share, but I didn't have really anything else in my collection that kind of smelled like that. So I was glad to get this one. And like I mentioned, you gotta like your cinnamon, you gotta like your amber, this has got honey up at the top, so it gives it a unique twist on that DNA. Like I mentioned, that's why they're in the same family, but they're not the same scent. This one's kind of got a little bit more of a Middle Eastern flair as well, just because of those spices, but that honey gives it the sweetness off the top to have those spices reined back in. So it's a good combo and a well done by the perfumer that came up with this scent to give it a good, nice balance between that sweetness to the spiciness here. And you are going to get some powder with this one, some floral aspects, but overall, the star of the show is going to be that vanilla, that amber, and that warm spice. And Ojon might be the one out of all these scents here, other than Carlisle, and probably the one of the Laytons I'm going to talk about, because you probably see the bottles over here, Layton Exclusive to be exact, that would be hard to wear for somebody just beginning into fragrances, because this isn't as sweet, like I mentioned, as a Angel Share. This is more on the spice focused in that realm with the cinnamon as well. So Ojon, excellent release from the house. Can't get enough of this scent. I really enjoy breaking this out of time, and I enjoy the note of honey, so why wouldn't I enjoy this fragrance here? Next one on the list, we are going to break out one of the Laytons, because I already gave you that sneak peek, and I am going to go with the OG Layton here. And I won't talk about Layton Exclusive as much, since I'm going to be talking about this one, but in my collection I got the little small bottle, compare all the big bottles over here. If you are familiar with fragrances too, then you probably are very familiar with Layton. This one's going to be focused on the sweetness compared to Layton Exclusive, more on the fresh spice type of things. And overall, this one, again, I keep mentioning all the Parfums de Marly fragrances, it's going to project, it's going to perform. I would say out of all the 5 I've talked about recently, other than the last one I will talk about, all of these are going to get you noticed in some shape or form. It's just in different ways, making sure you use it, when you're going to be using it. But Layton is one that is tried and tested. It's always going to work, and it's one of the more popular fragrances from the house, if not the most popular from the house. So, got it on my finger, of course. But this one here, it's got some apple up at the top that's really appealing, very crisp. Like I mentioned, warm spice, fresh spice, vanilla. It's got some woods in here as well, but that main focus is going to be on that sweetness, that vanilla, that basically it's you know, those type of accords. That's what this is going to be focused on. And then in the back, you got some of that freshness. You got some of the citrus in here as well. But this one has some that really nice, appealing sweetness to it, with the vanilla and that apple that gives it a fresh touch, okay? And Layton is just something that, man, I have a event I'm going to on Saturday. I might have to pull Layton out. After just smelling off this tester strip. That's how darn good this fragrance is. Overall, when I got this one, it was just, it was a staple for me. You had to get Layton. And then I kind of got more experience with the fragrances, and then that's when I got Layton Exclusive, which we are going to be talking about next here. But I really like the aromatic flair that this one has, and how it focuses on that fresh spice, and how the vanilla comes across with that crisp apple. So Layton, this one's just a treat to wear, I will say. All right, 2 more to go, and we are going to be talking about Layton Exclusive. So you're probably wondering what's going on with this fragrance here. And Layton Exclusive is very similar to Layton, but this one here has some darker notes added in, takes the DNA into a deeper, now I wouldn't say richer, because this one's richer on the sweetness. I would say this one's more bold, okay? More something that a guy that is a biker would wear, per se. Compared to that one, I kind of feel like just your general person would wear that one. Layton Exclusive, this is the one for the guy in the leather jacket here, okay? And, you know, depending on the day, is depending on which one I'll be wearing, okay? This one's going to be more oud. This one's going to be more woody focused, for sure. And, man, that oud just does it for me. You get a little bit of civet in this as well. Some animal, basically that's some animalic tones. And this one does have that vanilla. It doesn't have the apple like Layton, the regular Layton, but this one here does have that darker nuance. So if you really like that DNA and you want it kind of darkened and more focused on the woods and less of that sweetness, but still with that PDM classic vanilla, then you should try out Leighton Exclusive. And I would highly recommend any fragrance that you hear me talk about today, you try out and see what you think, because they're they're stunners. They're stunners. But this one does have a little citrus, and it's got almond. This one includes almond in this one. Overall, it does have coffee in the base, but I don't really get much of that coffee, and it does have a little sweetness too. Overall, what I get with this is that oud, that wood, and that vanilla. Those are the three main players for me. But when I'm feeling a little bit more mysterious and more dark, I'm going with Leighton Exclusive here. And then last but not least, to round out this list of Parfums de Marly fall and wintertime scents is none other than Hautaine. Man, I only have one caveat with Hautaine, and it just, I might go nose blind to it. I don't know, but I don't feel like this one, out of all the ones that I've talked about on the list, it doesn't project and it doesn't last as long. Now, I might be wrong about that. I might be going nose blind when I'm using this scent, but this one here is, I just can't wait to wear it. I just can't wait to wear it. Hautaine here. I get very excited when I smell this one, and I know it some people want to talk about Initio's Oud for Great or Oud for Glory, excuse me. But this one here is going to give you old kind of like wood vibes, I would say. And overall, I just want to make sure I have that scent right that I told you all, because I might have messed up. So Oud for Greatness. I said Oud for Glory. I meant Oud for Greatness. I think that's the clone. I apologize, but they're all similar. They all come in the same vein. But overall, I haven't tried that one out. My first one of this DNA was Hautaine, and I couldn't get over it. It's just something that love at first sniff. Love at first sniff. That was a dinky spray. We'll give it another one. Come on, David. Do better. Do better. But oh, man, this one is just this one is great to me. It's got oud, it's got sweetness, aromatics. Those are the three kind of chords you're gonna get with this one. Man, this one is just, for me per se, if I had, out of these five, I would say Leighton or this one would be my go-to for a date night. If I was going on a date with somebody, I would be definitely reaching for these two. It'd be a hard decision. I mean, Altair too, 100%. But Hautaine and Leighton, they just do something different to me. It's just crazy to me. When I smell this, I'm like, oh my gosh, I just want to spray it all over myself today for sure. This one's got sweet aspects, got woody, fresh spice, and it's also a little metallic too. That's why I think I vibe with it. Kind of like metallics in my fragrances. That's why I enjoy Dior Sauvage. But this one here kind of gives you old woody vibes, but also it's very sexy. This would be something that I would see a guy kind of old money-esque, dressed up, got their stuff together. This would be what they'd be wearing. And this one here, like I mentioned, off my skin, it doesn't do as well as the others, but I'm gonna wear it no matter what, because I really like the scent profile. I really like the scent DNA, and for the fall and winter time, it works. It works perfect. So Hautaine, to wrap up the list, let me know. I'll be interested. Let me know in the comments down below what your top 5 fall and wintertime Parfums de Marly fragrances are, and if you want to try any of these fragrances I mentioned today. Really enjoyed making this video, and overall have to make a spring and summertime once that rolls around for the House of Parfums de Marly. And with all that being said, I will see you all in the next video.